Hello, I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news tonight, reaction to a bill permitting contingent rights for CARICOM nationals living and working in Barbados. Promises of a speedier process in obtaining police certificates of character. More online services coming for credit union members. And in sports, Barbadian Amber Joseph finished 11th in the points race at the World Championships.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
Well, last night we told you about Barbados taking the legislative steps to facilitate the movement of skilled CARICOM nationals included in that expanded list that are able to move freely in the CSME space. We also learned that agricultural workers, beauty service practitioners, barbers and security guards will now be considered as skilled nationals. Now, ever since that news broke, Barbadians have been very vocal about their thoughts on the issue, and our Shane Jones joins us live now with some of that reaction. Good evening, Shane. You have been on the ground all day, and what are the people saying?
Hi, good evening, Lisa. Well, before I get right into that reaction, let me break it down a bit and make the Caribbean Community Amendment Bill 2019, as it's called, a little easier for our viewers to digest. Let me show you some of the major points from it that have been causing such a stir. So the major thing is that some vital contingent rights are being offered to CARICOM nationals. I'm going to share 3 of them with you that have been big talking points. Now, Lisa, they are free education, as there's also free health care, and also the right to work without a permit. Now, sometime last night or in the early hours of this morning, a message started to be heavily circulated on WhatsApp on the issue. Let's just bring it up for you and let me share some of that summary of that message. The writer raised issues like if Barbadians would ever have this same treatment in other parts of the Caribbean, and while professing not to be xenophobic, they suggest Barbados will now have a heavy influx of immigrants. They also question if health care will be compromised, raising the question also of taxes, and also went as far as to predict that with all the people coming in, the Barbados culture would have totally changed in 10 years. Well, we received some WhatsApp reaction of our own, with one person saying they don't see the benefits of it, only the burden it brings. You know, I also took to the street for more opinions, and I've got some quite different reactions.
If we expect to go to other islands and work and do business, then we should be acceptable of other people coming to our island.
I feel that that's the whole purpose of CARICOM, to give the persons included in CARICOM the benefits of going to countries that are involved. So I think that was great.
We just leave here and go to other people's countries and get the same benefits that them just get. So white people can come here and get the same benefits that we just get when we go to their country. I don't have a problem with it.
So for now, Lisa, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Shane. Well, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley says it may appear that less money is being spent on the Royal Barbados Police Force than in previous years, but that's actually not the case. Ms. Motley says some changes were made to the force's operations, which means that less money is needed. The Prime Minister says, for example, money for acting appointments was removed from the budget, as were the salaries for clerical officers who were retrenched. She also explains that some vacant posts have been abolished temporarily until the prospective candidates to fill them have been trained. She says what has happened is that the money was put into the budget up front for critical things like equipment.
We are now trying to get the cameras going again on the main highways that allow the police, particularly on the main highways and the St. Lawrence Gap and hopefully on the West Coast, to be able to deal with finding people when crimes are committed. We're now trying to get crime mapping software. We're now trying to get the drone technology. All of these things should have been bought by a government of Barbados in the lost decade. But instead, what did we get? People spending money and doing things that would cause the police to have to spend money to pay out in damages or legal costs.
And the Prime Minister adds that money was voted late on Friday night for 3 additional judges for the criminal courts, along with about $5 million to be used for training young people in sports and culture. Meantime, Attorney General Dale Marshall is promising faster processing for police certificates of character. He told Parliament he has informed the police high command that he wants reduced waiting times from about 2 months to 2 or 3 days. Mr. Marshall says part of the problem can be solved through technology with the digitization of criminal records. According to him, a supplementary has been obtained in the Ministry of Home Affairs to ensure that this is done.
You pay your fee, you get your fingerprints checked, and the data is there, but there's still some records that are not. There's still some records that are not digitized. So, with the full digitization of the data, which would also see more recent convictions entered into the system as well, we would be able to issue the certificate of character within a matter of days.
And opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley is suggesting that Barbados has a law and order problem. He wants government to commit more funds to address it.
If we fail in this regard, then all the benefits served to us by our investments in health and education fall prey to a climate in which law and order itself is a victim because of the lack of adequate funding. So I make a strong call for increase of funding for law and order to a point where, in that regard, it more competes with education and health for resource funding.
And we say hello now to our Lisa Broom in our social media corner to tell us what is trending. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Lisa, and thanks and welcome to What's Trending. Now, if you tuned in on Friday night to CBC TV 8, well, you were luckier than me, but that meant that you got to witness a bit of history. Grenadian soca artist Mr. Killer claimed the top spot in the Power Soca competition in Trinidad and Tobago. It was the first time a non-national copped the top prize in that event. So here's a snippet of his performance.
Grenada, tell the Prime Minister, open the port, I'm coming home. Run, 2, 1. Pick up something, and rock your bit across. I just want to pick up something.
Well, following that win, Mr. Killer took to his social media pages with a heartfelt message to his fans, saying that he was grateful to share the win with all of us. Well, them, but us at the same time, you know. Was actually our Mikey. He took part in the International Soca Monarch competition, and he was there to perform. And while singing, he was, while singing his hit, Fetting Family, he unfortunately took a tumble. Performer he is, Mikey didn't let that fall affect that performance. On social media, he explained that he slipped on a bit of oil on the stage, but that he was okay, although a little sore. And of course, we're glad that he is fine. And staying with the family theme, one of the tunes receiving major play in TNT is Family. And that's a collaboration between Machel Montano, Bunji Garlin, and Skinny Fabulous. But Skinny's from St. Vincent, and there was some controversy about the eligibility of the song for the Road March. Well, now it's official. Family does qualify. And the news has drawn mixed reaction from Facebook users. Eric Denver says it's bad enough that Mr. Killer has already run away with the Power Soca title. Meanwhile, Jen Ray clearly supports the song for Road March for 2019. And the official music video for Family was released recently, and true to theme, it features a number of artists from the region, including our very own Alison Hines. Of course, togetherness is always a positive theme, but in the next clip, there's a group that has taken that idea a little bit too far. Now, this is UWI Law Society's Sports Day, and apparently it's an event called ZR Pack, where people cram into a packed ZR van to see how many of them can fit into it. And while those young people were doing their best to get into this van, well, there are some who prefer to wait on their own public transportation of choice.
I do not know why these girls don't go to school and get education in their head. And then people is want to know why young children is come out of school doing crime and don't got the certificates. Why?
But from that commentary, it seems the girls were waiting for a particular van, allowing others to pass without stopping them. So, well, that's all the time we have tonight for Watch Trending. We're inviting you to send your comments to WhatsApp on 233-7388 or 233-7555. Your pics can also be sent via email to nca@cbc.bb. Title it Pick of the Day, and it gives you a chance to be featured right here in our social media segment. Also, very importantly, don't forget to visit our Instagram page at CBC News Barbados, as well as our Facebook page at cbcnews.bb. Of course, remember, keep your comments clean. So we'll see you tomorrow for another look at Watch Trend. Lisa, back to you, my family.
Thank you so much, my family. Government is moving to address the issue of youth unemployment across the island. As part of the process, it has rolled out a series of training sessions for youth through the Barbados Employment and Career Counseling Service. Our Rianne Phillips tells us more.
A total of 180 young people are expected to benefit from the 3 job readiness workshops. This morning, the first set of 60 participants attended the first session, which covered several areas, including CV rating and pursuing vacancies.
A job is not going to fall into your lap. Those days are gone, done. So pound the pavement. I have found jobs pounding the pavement. Many times there may also be a vacancy that just came up. It may be temporary, whereby you have an employee who was sick, gone on sick leave, extended sick leave, gone to an accident, God forbid, they're on sick leave for 6 weeks. That's a vacancy.
Participants also got tips about how to identify their skills from daily experiences.
We've all had to take care of an extended family member's child at some point in time, right? The amount of skills you can pull from taking care of a child. Organized, right? Time specific, detail oriented, patience, right? Multitasking, right? Communication. All of those skills are skills that are transferable and necessary for the work environment.
The sessions continue for the next 2 days at the Warren's office complex. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Well, several employees of the now defunct insurance company British American could finally start receiving their pensions. Government on Friday evening approved a supplementary under Head 34, which provides for the payment of the outstanding money. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, says while this would not typically be a government responsibility, the previous administration committed to doing it but never followed through.
CLICO as well in January of last year, as if something was happening. But CLICO the Prime Minister will address that in short order. But those employees of British American whose pensions have been held up now for 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. As soon as the Gazette is done on maybe Monday or Tuesday, I think Monday is the next round of gazetting, those employees should then be able to start to see some relief with respect to that situation.
And Minister Strong was speaking during a Christchurch East Central Branch meeting at the Milton Lynch Primary School. He says that the government has also been renegotiating contracts made by the previous administration, and to date more than $1.1 billion has been saved. Well, coming up, we'll check in with Selma Green to see what kind of weather we can expect later tonight and into tomorrow. Stay with us.